Hello, hello, hello. Hi, lovelies. How are you? How are you doing? Listen, it is a pleasure to be before you today, and I hope you can hear me well. I don't have my microphones on today, but hopefully you can definitely hear me. I want to discuss about something that many of us do, and that's repeat ourselves. I think it's important that we at some point in our lives decide that we're going to stop repeating ourselves. We're going to say what we say, we're going to mean what we say, and we're going to execute thereafter. And so I had a very interesting, and I mean very interesting what would you call it, moment. Let me say a very interesting moment in church today with our pastor. He was teaching, and I'm going to put these glasses on so I can see if anybody's responding. He was teaching today, and he talked about your oh no's, okay? And when he said oh no's, these are things that you need to be saying oh no to. Things that you basically need to be resisting, those oh no's, you know. I have a bunch of oh no's. I'm going to tell y'all right off the rip, and I'm just sharing some stuff. I have a bunch of oh no's. A whole bunch of oh no's do I have. And so I just decided today that I'm definitely going to stop entertaining those oh no's. And that's what helped me get the topic today of saying what you mean, meaning what you say. Stop repeating yourself. Stop saying what you're going to do and you never do it. You know what I'm saying? I get tired of saying what I like, what I don't like, what I will accept and what I won't accept. And then I turn around, find myself to giving people and situations grace, more grace than they deserved. You understand? So sometimes you gotta have to stop with the grace. We're gonna have to stop with the grace. You can give them a grace period, but we're not gonna keep on repeatedly giving the people grace for things that they just know better than to do, and also things that we have already expressed is unacceptable. So right now, I want to challenge everybody to stop repeating yourself over and over and over again. So let me put this in here real quick. I know a lot of people wants to come on my show. I know I used to have guests all the time on my show, and I promise you I'm going to pick it back up to where we can come and dialogue on this show once again. I told y'all I'm getting ready to go back on the radio, supposed to be next month. So let me get through that, and then we're going to dialogue. We got a lot of candidates, and I'm going to allow them to come on my show. No problem for me. I don't have a dog in this hunt. So definitely we're going to start dialoguing again. But I want to get back to this. Stop repeating yourself. Stop telling people you're going to do stuff and you never follow through, you know. And I mean stuff that's protecting or protective of you. You know what I'm saying? If you're not treating me the way I want to be treated, I'm not going to keep giving you grace to come back and treat me any kind of way. It becomes a pattern, and then you become comfortable with that. And I'm still uncomfortable. I'm still, getting attitudes because you're disrespecting me. But guess what? After I've already told you what I will and will not accept, I'm allowing you to disrespect me. Okay? That's what we do. Once we have set the boundaries, the guidelines, and then we allow people to come back and tell us, hi, Barbara, and tell us, and treat us in the manner that we said we do not accept, we are allowing this stuff to happen. We're allowing it to happen. And my biggest thing is, even with our children, when we make a dedication to our declaration, let's say that, to our children, that I am going to protect you at all costs. I am going to do this, that, and other for you. I am going to make sure that you receive everything that is due you. When we do that, and then we don't come out swinging when somebody has wronged them, we are wrong. We are wrong. We cannot promise our children protection and then we sit on our hands when somebody disrespects them, because it's at that point, that moment, that it's time for us to react. Let me tell you a story. When I was a young girl, before I went in the military, up to the age 17, I didn't play with my mama. Now, I was mischievous like the next one. You know, I was a girl and I was girly at times. And so I did what I was going to do, but I didn't play with my mother. I hid, I snuck out. I did what I was going to do. However, I did not play with Gail. Gail would knock me clean to the other side of the house if I played with her, okay? But one thing about me not playing with my mama, when I needed her, she was there. When I had a problem that I could not handle, a problem with adults, those type of problems that was out of my league, out of my pay grade and age grade, my mother stuck up for me. My mother came forth. Without a doubt, she was there. She was ready for battle. Okay? I charge you parents. I charge you parents to be ready for battle for your kids. When you feel that your kids have been wronged, take the necessary steps to get a answer that is sufficient for you. You don't have to come act ignorant and irate, but do something. Get answers that are sufficient. Stop repeating yourself, telling your kids, I got your back, I got your back. And then when it comes to certain things, you don't have their back. You don't have their back. Come on, I need for you to be that parent that you told your child that you're going to be, that you're going to be their ride or die. You're going to be their ace boo coon. You're going to be there to take care of them. See, and up until the age 17, that's what I had. My mother always stood up for me, whether it was when I was singing at a pageant and they tried to move me to the intermission instead of a permanent spot during the pageant. Gail was on it, and she let them know that she didn't buy a gown for me to sing at no intermission, and I was going to sing where they promised me. This is what she told the man at the school, Mr. Fame, God rest his soul. If y'all remember Mr. Fame, he knew not to play with my mama. And guess where I was singing? Where they told me to sing, because Gail wasn't having it no other way. Unless you wanted to shut that program down, you was going to let Love sing where you promised Love she was going to sing. That's the kind of parent that I had. My mother told me that I would be her best friend, or she would be my best friend forever. And that's what she did, that she would take care of me forever. And that's what she does. And I'm telling you right now, parents, you need to step up for your children. When things are not right, it's up to you to step up for your kids. Somebody gonna get this before I come out again this week. Somebody's going to get this. Stop repeating things that are not untrue. Stop saying that you're going to do stuff and you don't do it. When you let people slap your kids in the face, you're not protecting them. You are not protecting them. Stop repeating yourself and get to work. Stop repeating yourself and get to work for your children. Nobody can fight for your kids like you can. And those who can fight for them cannot do it alone. Do y'all understand me? We have to turn. Let me get this together, because I'm going in another direction. And since I'm here, let's pin it here. y'all know that I am a school board member, okay? And what tease me off the most is to hear people talk down about our children, to hear people talk down about our school system, to hear all of that. Out of this whole state, I believe that our district is now maybe the third in the district, okay? For some of you, that might sound like, oh, it's not good, but baby, we the third. So we're doing something right. Our teachers are doing something right, right? And I will have to verify that because, okay, somebody calling. We're doing something right. And let me tell you something. We have some caring, powerful, knowledgeable teachers in Portsmouth Public Schools system. And the educators, and we call everybody educators, but if you see how our security, how much they care about our kids, our cafeteria workers care about our students. I refuse to keep allowing people to tell these blatant lies about our kids just because of those SOL scores. And I am going to explain that this week. I promise you. I'm going to explain those scores to you this week. And I'm not talking about going by detail. I'm going to tell you the real. Because see, what I promised y'all was transparency. And why I promised you transparency about the reading, I promised to get down into the reasoning why our kids are having issues with that. And I've done that. I got you some answers, and I'm going to give you some answers this week about that, and then maybe you can understand certain things. But I think it's piss poor that grown people will put their mouths on kids and drag these children down, and I refuse to let you take away their enthusiasm. I refuse to let you break their spirit with that nonsense, because these kids are going to be somebody's. They're going to be the future. They're going to be the next, whether you like it or not. So pour into them now, because what you get is what you give, because they will be in charge. They will take our places. So we want to make sure that they are prepared to do so. And so we're going to have to do what it takes to get them ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. So parents, we don't need for you to get silent. We don't need for you to get scary. We don't need for you to get ignorant either. But we need for you to stand up for your children. So back into my story, my mother stood up for me all the way until it was time for me to go into the military. I'm drinking some tea because my throat itchy. So when I was 17 is when I left home, because I was one of the ones who did not want to go to college. I didn't want to be home with my mama either. So I said, I'm getting up out of this tip. That's how hard-headed I was, you know. Some would say grown. And so my mother signed for me to go into the military at age 17. But at that age is when my mom said, listen, you're going to be on your own. Now it's time for you to stand up for yourself. You watched me take care of things. I showed you how to stick up for yourself. Now it's time for you to do it. And she released me to be able to stand up on my own. And that is why, even though it was a blessing, it's a blessing and a curse altogether, because people can't understand me. People don't understand why I would stand toe-to-toe with giants, because I've always been taught if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And to the parents of Portsmouth, I'm telling you, if you don't stand up for your children, you're going to fall, and you're going to make them fall. I am not going to fail these kids, but I cannot do it by myself. When you see an injustice being done to your child, it's up to you to stand up for them. Don't nobody want me to tell y'all that. Nobody don't mind that I like to keep my information and my paperwork private. Okay, don't worry about that. So I keep it protected from case in case it leaks in here. So don't worry about that. Just keep your mind on what I'm saying. It's up to us to take care of our children. It's up to us to protect our children. It's up to us to speak for our children. And it is up to us to vote in the best interest of our children. I can't say that anymore. Vote in the best interest of our children. When you get out there and you start talking to these candidates, you need to find out who is thinking the best for your kids' needs, what your kids are going to be wanting and coming up against. Who is thinking on that route? Who's giving you the best answer? And if they don't do what they say they're going to do, don't vote for them anymore. Don't vote for them anymore. See, I'm this type of person. I ran for election in 2024. And through the power of voting and receiving votes from a diverse amount of citizens, I won that election. And I am not working these 4 years trying to campaign for another election. Excuse me. I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm not campaigning for another election. I'm doing the job that you elected me to. And I told you that I was going to take care of our students and our staff. And that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask them questions that you want to know so that you can hear the answers to what you want to know. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to tell you what I would do if I was in your shoes. And one thing I have always done is stood up for my children. When they're wrong, I still stood up for them and I admitted that they're wrong. But I did not show up because they were wrong. I showed up. And I showed up when they were right. And that's all I'm asking you parents to do is show up. I'm not asking you to get out here and act like we children and want a fist fight and all that stuff. I'm asking you to be professionals. Ask the questions necessary to get the answers that are necessary. That you can go home and explain to your kids why this, and the other has happened. I'm asking you to be honest and truthful with yourself and with your children. So that you can help develop successful citizens that will come back and take over these roles in the city of Portsmouth. I don't point fingers at anybody because I believe if you look hard enough, you'll find the answers that you're looking for. So I don't point fingers. A lot of people point fingers at me, but I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Being an elected official is not easy. It's not easy at all, and it's not for the weak. It's not for the faint of heart. Being an elected official is not easy. It's not, and you know in Portsmouth, it's not about the money either, not for the school board anyway. I spend more money out my pocket than I do getting money. Okay, that stipend goes to gas, possibly getting something to eat in between me going to different schools. Okay, and I take my personal money and I show my appreciation. And it has nothing to do with a campaign. It has everything to do with my promise that I will not only care as an elected official, serve as an elected official, but I will love as an elected official. Love. Okay? So I want to just encourage you, parents, to step up. Stop sitting at home thinking everything gonna be all right. Stay in the game. Keep your head in the know. Know what's going on with your kids. And when it's something you don't like, make some noise. Doesn't have to be, disrespectful. Ask your question. You have that right to ask your question. And I'm going to tell y'all something too. just so you will know, nobody has a right to disrespect you. These elected officials out here don't want to give you your respect due. Their ways, and one of the ways is word of mouth. Don't put them out there no more. Let people know how they treat you once they get elected. That's one of the ways. And there are other ways, but I'm telling you, we answer to you. We work for you. All of we. All of we. When I say we, that's a big we. We all work for those who voted for us. And I think some of us forget that. But y'all can remind them. Y'all can remind them. Listen, I've always been a straight shooter. I was a straight shooter when I was running. I didn't sugarcoat anything for y'all. I told you the truth. I told you how I was. I told you I was a fighter. And I am a fighter. But some things I cannot fight alone. And you guys need to have answers for your kids. I'm going to give y'all an answer for some of them SOL scores, though. I'm going to give you an answer for that this week. I promise you. On the 22nd, matter of fact, you'll have an answer for some of those scores. Because I told you I was going to be transparent. Because I'm sick and tired of these grown folks messing with our children. I'm sick and tired of you trying to kill their enthusiasm, trying to kill their joy, trying to kill their motivation. We should be uplifting our children regardless of whether you agree with public school or not. You should never try to dim a child's light. And I cannot believe that adults are doing this. I have never had this experience as a child myself where an adult will be so harsh out of their mouth towards me. But I can guarantee you, had you ever been harsh towards me as a child, you would have had to meet Gail because my mother protected me. And all I'm asking is for you parents to protect your children. You don't have to be ignorant or irate. Once again, be professional. But ask those questions and let people know this is not acceptable. That's what you do, okay? So I'm not even going to keep you long because I don't want to say too much, take away from what I'm going to say in a few days, okay? Because some things have to be addressed. Some things have to be addressed. And too many times we keep silent just to make it seem like we're all getting along. But see, I was raised that love don't hurt. And when you start hurting me, we're not getting along. We're not jiving. When you start doing things that's one-sided, we're not getting along. We're not jiving. There's no unity and oneness. You understand? And so that's when it's time for me to face reality that this thing ain't working. Okay? This is not working. Okay, so y'all know I never go on who you should vote for. I tell you eventually maybe who I'm going to vote for. But I'm not going to tell you who you should vote for. What I'm telling you is pay attention to who votes for you. Pay attention to who votes for you, meaning who's voting for your children. Who's doing what your children need them to do. Who's giving your children their hind parts to kiss. Because that affects you too. Who's not making sure that your kids are taken care of properly? Who's ignoring the fact that your kid has every opportunity to excel and redeem themselves to excel? That's what we need to be paying attention to. And I'm going to have a little bit more for y'all a little bit later because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of the pretending. I'm sick and tired of that. You know, it's one thing to handle your business and then we make our decisions based on what you made your decision on. That's fine with me. That's fine with me. But some things are very, 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 very unacceptable. And parents, it's up to you to decide what's unacceptable for you. When are you going to start stepping out making some noise? You have a right to be heard at city council. You have a right to be heard at the school board meetings. That's your right. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. This went a little left, but I'm still going to try to keep it under the umbrella of stop repeating yourself. Stop repeating yourself talking about what you're going to do for your kids, and you're not doing it all the way around, full circle. Because I'm not talking just about what you're going to do out there at the house, in the neighborhood, because somebody that said something jacked up to your kid. What you going to do when it comes to their education. What you going to do when it comes to the fact that these kids don't have decent recreation around here. It's a recreation center that can't nobody tell me what you got, because I worked for them before, and it's a babysitting job, actually. Okay? As it stands right now, we should have some top of the line recreation going on around here for the kids. When are y'all going to stand up for these kids? Because as long as you're not standing up, it'll always be a tutoring hall. It'll always be a basketball, and we'll never get a pool around here. Come on. Come on. What do you want for your kids? What do you think our kids need? Start asking for it. Start standing up for your children. Start making moves. Y'all gonna make me run for something else. Because I can't stand when our children are not being treated like they are our future. I cannot stand it. I can't stand it when they're being overlooked. We should never downplay our kids. Ever. Listen, God loves you. I love you. Make sure you love yourself, and then you can properly go on and love someone else. Make sure you take care of your children. When you have a question, everybody know my line, my email, everything is open for you. I'll do my best to answer your question or get you a question. But you got to pay attention to what's going on around you. You cannot be naive to what's going on in your own city when you have kids, when you have investments. Take care of yourself. And I will be talking to y'all in a few days. Watch the school board meeting.